everybody. Welcome back to Grid Penalty, the Formula One podcast for everybody. My name's Brent Gill. With me, as always and forever, Jeff Tice. What's up, Playboy?
Yo.
What's up?
What's up, Brent? How you doing? I'm feeling exceptional. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I took third place in my golf tournament today.
Whoa.
We had the Monaco. We had the Indy 500, dog. What a day today.
The Triple Crown.
What a day.
We had Monaco, Indy 500, your golf tournament.
My golf tournament. The trip crazy.
The pinnacle of sport. That's awesome. I'm genuinely pumped for you. Third is huge.
Dude, it was so fun. The race today was everything you could have asked for in a Formula One race. It was so enjoyable. I can't wait to get into it. But before we get into our recap of the Monaco Grand Prix, we got to get what, Jeff? Tell me what we got to do.
Get plugged. Let's get plugged. Hello, everybody. You can find me at Jeffrey Tice, GEOFFREYTICE, on all social media. I have a bunch of shows coming up around town in Denver, Colorado, but the one you should come to, bring everyone you know. Bring kids, family. It's an all-ages show. It's June 18th at Comedy Works South at the Landmark. That's in Greenwood Village, near the Tech Center in Denver. So if you have friends, family, and you like comedy at 3 p.m., come out to that show. It's going to be real fun. But that genuinely will be a good time. And then you can also buy my children's book. It's called The 11 Evelyns. It's on Amazon. Check it out. I wrote and illustrated it for my daughter, who is named Evelyn. Shocking turn of events. And then let's say you are at the Tech Center and you're waiting for the show to start. It's 3 p.m. You go to the show and you're like, man, this show was awesome, but I just need more comedy. I also probably don't want family-friendly comedy. What you're going to do is you're going to hop on the RTD, maybe the light rail. You're going to take the light rail all the way to Union Station, and then you're going to hop on the FF Flyer. You're going to take that all the way to 15th and Canyon. You're going to get out of 15th and Canyon. You're going to get on a Lime scooter. You're going to shout out and maybe pick up hippie man John Novosad. He's going to ride in your backpack all the way from 15th and Canyon. You're going to swing all the way over to 28th and Valmont. You're going to let John off at Vacuums R Us. The dude loves vacuums. He's going to pick a couple of those up before the show. Then you're not going to go to Coyote Cleaners. You're not going to go to Cosmos Pizza. Or
the adult place, or Adam and Eve.
Yep, or Adam and Eve, or Glacier Ice Cream, which I found out is also right there. It's so good. You definitely should go there. It's so good.
You should not have said
Sponsor of the pod. Glacier Ice Cream. But what you're going to do is then you're going to go to the Rayback Collective at 7 p.m. every single Sunday for the Boulder Comedy Show. That's what you're going to do. Brent, where can the good people find you?
Boy, buddy, I can't wait to tell them. First of all, you can catch my comedy special. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. You can catch my comedy special live from Philadelphia. There's a link to it in my Instagram at I am Brent Gill. Brent Gill. And then you can catch me at the Rec Room in Huntington Beach on June 23rd. You can catch me headlining the Comedy Works South on July 12th. That's a Wednesday, baby.
Nice. Not family
Hump
friendly.
Day Wednesday, Hump Day Gill, and it's definitely not family friendly. Good Lord, no.
Can you imagine?
And then my Chiba Hut tour. I've got a handful of dates for that. Here are 9 of them in order. I will be in Atlanta on August 23rd, Orlando, August 25th, St. Augustine, August 26th, Albuquerque, New Mexico, September 1st, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, September 8th,
Milwaukee,
Chicago, holy fuck me, Chicago, I went to a public school, y'all, sorry, Chicago, 9-9, Denton, Texas, 9-16, Bend, Oregon, 9-23, and Houston, Tejas, 9-30.
That's great. That's
Come
a
check
good
me
run.
out on the road.
Your cat's going to be pissed.
I specifically asked if he makes it then. I specifically asked the internet when the best time to play golf in Bend, Oregon was, and they said fall. So I scheduled my date for a golf trip.
Perfect.
And then I'm not going to Houston in the summer. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, that's...
Also, you should follow our producer, who unfortunately can't be editing this one, so it's on me. So if this sounds fine at best, that's all on me.
Yeah.
But she's amazing at what she does. She's out jet setting. She was in Canada, eating poutine and doing shots of maple syrup. But now she's in Europe. They flew her out there.
Crazy.
These audio people love her. And we love her.
Crushes it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So check her out at KO Recording. See what her adventures have been and what she's up to. And then our video editor, incredible, Jan Points into Williams.
Shout out, Jan.
Hit her up at Points into Williams. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram at Grid Penalty F1 F1 F1. Ooh, that'd be fun. F1.
Funa.
It doesn't sound good when I say it like that.
I like it.
Sounds like I'm being dual racist.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm making fun of Asians and Mexicans. F1.
It does.
I keep saying it. That's the problem.
It's
That's
also
not
fun to acknowledge it and then keep doing it. That's probably not great.
I gotta edit this. I'm gonna keep it in there.
Oh, it's gotta
anyway,
stay. It's gotta stay.
It's gotta stay. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, check us out. Our Discord, Grid Penalty F1 as well. We got great merch as well in the Redbubble store. So check that out on our Instagram, Grid Penalty F1. Jeff, what'd you do this week? Anything fun?
Nothing crazy. I got sunburned. You can tell I'm a little warm.
Little cheeks.
I was out in the sun. I went to the mountains. Went to Grand Lake. We were hanging out. It was great. Took it easy. Other than that, dude, nothing. Chilling.
We did the 10-year anniversary.
Relaxing. We did. That was really fun.
Of the Boulder Comedy Show.
Man, I'll tell you one thing about that. I had so much fun not hosting and not but like I know that you had a extremely stressful time there. I could see it and I could feel it. But it also, as soon as I walked in, and it was like beyond sold out, so packed. It was such a fun celebration, so cool. Like Dr. Elliot Higgins playing music, just a really cool scene. But to that end, I got to enjoy it because as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, I forgot how stressful this is. I was like,
I don't miss any of this.
I was like, this is really stressful. And then on top of that, right as I'm about to go on stage, I'm like standing in the back corner of the room. You're like finishing up. You're about to bring me up, and a girl that I went to high school with walks in to go to the bathroom. So you have to walk from the front door to the bathrooms, and goes, Jeff? And I'm like, oh no, like what's up? Like so nice. Like she's awesome, but it's just the last time right before you walk on stage that you want to like catch up with someone from high school.
Of course.
They're like, what are you up to? You're like, I'm literally about to go do stand up. This is the worst time. It couldn't be worse timing. And then she goes, oh, a bunch of me and my soccer friends are outside. You know all of them from high school too. They all came in. And I was like,
oh no,
damn. And so I'm trying to be nice and talk to them, but also not seem like I'm just completely glazed over and not paying attention to any of them. Because that's what my brain was doing. My brain was like, you have to focus on. And then I carried that into probably the first minute and a half of my set. I walked up there and I was just like,
shook.
I don't know, man. I don't even know where I am. So,
do you perform in front of your high school friends much that you're aware of?
Not much. No, I don't think so.
It happens to me less now, but like when I was living in Denver a bunch at Comedy Works, like that would happen. And as long as I can't see them, that's great.
It.
But when you know they're there,
dude,
you're like, motherfucker, god damn it.
It's just a whole side section who weren't even at the show. They just were going to the bathroom, and now they're watching my set, and I'm just like, dude. And I know they're leaving right after.
Of course.
To be like, he was all right. Like, you know.
He was fine.
He was okay.
He was fine.
So that threw me off a little bit. But other than that, the whole night was really fun. I know it was different for you.
It was a great time. I was very pleased. I had to put a lot of thought into it. I laid down in bed and I was like, I didn't enjoy this. Yeah. And that sucked.
Too much.
I mean, there was a lot of people there. It was very sold out. There were so many people there that came to support me, so many people there that came to support the show. And I'm very grateful to all of them and to all of that. And I I always want it perfect.
Yeah.
And I am always running around like that throughout the show. I'm always walking around the room making sure it sounds good. But there was a buzz that was going on.
Yeah.
And typically when it's that full, I use that as an opportunity to like, hey, if you've never been to the show before, come back and see us. Or if it's been 5 years, come see us more often.
Yep.
And I couldn't figure out the buzz. I think it's because of the band.
That makes sense.
Which makes sense, and not their fault, but it was definitely, that was frustrating me. There was just a couple things that kind of like bothered me.
Yeah.
That it was just like it was just work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I did. But also, too, I think I had these magical, like, everyone's like, 10 years is incredible.
Yeah.
So I kind of had in my head, like, oh, this something magical is supposed to happen.
Right.
And then I got on stage and nothing magical came. And then I got off stage. I was like, I don't feel any different.
Yeah, like
it feels like
I'm running a show.
Yep. And what I equated it to was it reminded me of when I was 12 years old. And then I turned 13. And everyone's like, well, you're a teenager now. And you're like, I don't know. I still feel 12.
Yeah. It's like the feeling for me is when it's what's relatable for me is when I dated my wife for 8 years and then you get married and everyone's like, what's it like? And I'm like, exactly the same. Like, we've been together for almost 10 years. You think like because we signed some papers all of a sudden, we're like, we like each other more now. It's like, nah, man, it's pretty close to the same.
Yeah. But it was it was cool. My parents came out from Florida, which is cool.
Dude, they rule. They were so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're
I was
awesome.
very happy to see them. I got to play golf with my parents the next day at Omni, which I've never played there before.
That course is sick.
So cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool course. And then I played golf 6 days this week.
This is turning into every week. You go, I did 6 days in a row. Golf.
I played and early too. I get up early, I go play golf, and I go hammer out some work when I'm done.
That's great.
I played Monday with my parents, Tuesday at 9-hole exec, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday full 18s. Took Saturday off, and then played a tournament today.
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's fun.
Cool. That was pretty cool.
Of
course, I woke up today and my back was all fucked up.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you're just literally corkscrewing your whole body all
right.
week long.
No, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be fine. Feeling great.
Yeah,
Feeling great. As I swing a fucking stick around with weights on it. It's very dumb.
That's awesome.
Speaking of swinging sticks around,
Yes.
talk about swinging dicks around.
Yes.
Yo, Monaco, let's fucking
The
go,
greatest.
dude.
The greatest.
It was so cool.
It was fun.
It was, okay, well, first thoughts. you fire it out because I got so many. It was like, I was standing up during this race.
Yeah.
I was having so much fun. How'd you feel?
So for me, contrary to everything, all the trash we've talked prior to this episode and prior to this weekend, I mean, we had, again, going back to like naming episodes, we had an episode that basically was like, should we get rid of Monaco as a race?
People hated it.
People
hated it.
Not popular.
I got death threats.
But yeah, but I think this was the most exciting example of what Monaco can be. It kind of was like, it has everything. It had weather, it had bad strategy, it had good strategy, it had an insanely exciting qualifying session, which, as most people know, that's the most important part of the Monaco Grand Prix is the qualifying Saturday session. That sets the grid. Rarely is the order going to drastically change. And it was amazing. It was so fun. The curse, the Leclerc curse showed up.
Finally broke.
He finished, but he still got the penalty and dropped down his positions.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah.
But
he did finish.
No, for Leclerc for sure. But P1 finished in P1.
True. Yeah. Max did. And Max's quali lap was unbelievable. Like, so many things happening. But overall, what a fun, exciting example of Formula One. This is the one that, if people are just a super casual kind of in and out fan of F1, or they've kind of heard about F1, this Grand Prix, the Monaco Grand Prix, is the one that people know about. This is the one they tune in for. And so this was awesome because this season has been kind of this lackluster, Red Bull running away with it, everyone else just kind of like being whatever. It doesn't feel like it's really gained momentum because of weeks off and then Imola, and just it doesn't feel like we've got in that exciting rhythm of what the season could turn into. And this was a nice, like, okay, we're back from a really awful week off because of the flooding in Italy. we get to Monaco. It's the glitz. It's the glamour. It's the celebrities. It's the cool version of that. It's not the Miami version of that.
Yeah, no, it's what Miami was trying to do.
The yachts are actually in real water, and it's so awesome, and it just is the pinnacle of what Formula One is. And then it came through with a really fun race, a really fun weekend. It just was awesome. It left a really nice just air of racing.
Yeah.
So
I think if you enjoyed this race, I think you would enjoy Formula One in general, because this had you had to enjoy the finer things of Formula One to enjoy this. I think you had to enjoy what rain can do to the whole race. You had to enjoy strategy. You had to enjoy the fact that they could have gone the entire time with just the hards. Like there was so much. It's not just fast.
Yeah.
Because this is the slowest track on the entire schedule.
Yep.
I looked it up. I saw this stat, and I had to look it up to see if it was true. 93.2 is the average mile per hour speed around the track.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that wild?
Makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know that. Like I was talking about that with my father-in-law. We were watching the race today, and we were just like, man, it is a lot of slow corners, and they're never really fully flat out. We also laughed like right at the start of the race, the second lap in, it was like DRS enabled, and everyone's like, oh, cool, like that matters. And then not once did they mention DRS the rest of the race. Like you didn't need it at all. Yeah. So
it's not that race.
Yeah.
I want to go back to all of our listeners that have been here for the beginning. I was wrong. I text Jeff this, and I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe Monaco should stay. This is incredible.
Until next year, and it's just a total terrible parade of train, and it's boring, and you're like, I was wrong. We need to get rid of it.
I was wrong again. Get back. I was right the first time. Yeah. It should never go back on my gut.
Every year we flip-flop. Yeah. It was awesome. It was so fun.
Yeah.
It had everything. It had George Russell getting a penalty and complaining on the radio, being so British about it. It was
everything you'd expect to hear out of George. It had George asking to pass Lewis.
That was very funny.
And Lewis just didn't answer. They're like, no, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, it was a good. I mean, it's one of those things. It's so funny. Like he was basically like, I had a 5-second penalty, and he's like, well, it's like a little kid. He's like, here's what we could do to not get in trouble
to help the team.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the whole team. It's for us.
I thought it's a team sport, guys. I thought we were playing a team sport,
right?
It's so funny because like the angle is so apparent. Immediately, like, dude, it's like the little kid who gets in trouble who's like, here's what we're going to do to not get in trouble. Everyone needs to help me. I'm going to be in front of you, and then you hold back all the people like Carlos. And then it's just like, all right.
Then I promise I won't be more than 5 ahead of you.
That's exactly it. Dude,
I swear. Okay.
I swear to God. You can get
Scout's
your position
honor.
back. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right. And then the whole team is just like, God damn it, dude.
Shut up, George.
But
we barely like you.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, come on. To his credit, he also... again, I know we like talk trash about George a lot, but to his credit, his comments after the race, he said he blew it. The team's strategy set him up to get a podium today. He raced, really well, but he put it on himself. He took full ownership of the mistake, said the penalty was his fault, not the team. And so overall, I think he approached it really well. And it was like, yo, team put me in a great position. I blew it.
Yeah.
Which is
good on him.
Which is great.
I always blame them first.
Yeah, you got to go team first, and then, which if you're Ferrari, for sure go team first.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. By the way, Ferrari, I can't tell this time if Ferrari blew it strategy-wise or not with Carlos. Like, because Carlos, I'm trying to remember the moment now because I wrote this note on it. Carlos was basically telling them, no, I'm not coming in unless they make me come in because I broke the front end cap of his front wing.
Yep.
In a hilarious moment. What the fuck, dude? Like it's just it's so stupid. But like, how do you feel like Ferrari did strategy wise this time? Pretty good.
Bad. I think bad. I think overall they kind of blew it just in that they're so wishy-washy on things, and it was like time. It's just timing. Like I think they blew it. It was a mix of going back to qualifying with Leclerc. Whoever, I don't think it's strategy wise. This is just the team in general blowing it. But no one acknowledging or communicating to Leclerc that Lando's coming up on him, and then impeding Lando, which then in turn gave him a 5-place penalty, or 3-place.
It was 3-place.
Yeah, 3, and it's like those quote unquote little things that then spiral into the overall weekend, especially with the stakes are so high and the track position counts so much. You just can't have those things happen. And then for the strategy for Carlos, I think they were on the right track, and then it was a mix of a little bit of wishy-washiness of like coming in, not coming in, telling him to come in, and then last second tell him to stay out. Also, the call to Carlos, what we're talking about, the fun moment of, hey, you can push now, and then Carlos says, I'm gonna get up on his tires.
I'm gonna push Esteban through his tires, and then he runs through his tires, dude.
Through the chicane.
What the fuck?
Boom.
It couldn't have been planned any better, man. It was so priceless to hear him.
So good.
I'm gonna push him through his tire. It's like, watch this, and then he just whiffs it, and he shoots an air ball. Like it.
Yeah,
Carlos.
It was
buddy.
It was one of those like I love Carlos. He's an incredible driver. He is so detail oriented, and he is so good at mitigating risk, but he I think he just obviously pushed too hard too fast. We've all been there, but I think it was patience. I think if he was a little bit more patient with letting the race come to him a little bit more, I think he got excited to be in that position at the time to have the power to push and get past. Because I think at the time they were competing well with the Alpine. We later went on to find out that Alpine had a great weekend. A shout out to Ocon for getting
incredible
a podium. He's third on the podium.
Dude, it was incredible.
So cool.
I was very pleased with him. Yeah.
So great for him. But I think Carlos, just got too excited, went too hard too fast earlier on than he should have. And I think could have been a little bit more patient with the race, let it come to him and see what happens from there, instead of completely ruining his front wing and his race. That's tough. It's a tough scene.
Let's see here. I forget. Did Gasly also finish in points?
Yeah, I think he might have been. I know he finished. He finished 7th, which I think he was then in 6th in quali. But Ocon putting in a crazy lap. There was a couple drivers that put in insane laps. Like even in Q, I think 1 or 2.
Dude,
Tsunoda was like first for a while.
Yuki, I'm so happy with him, man. Why isn't he more famous? I love Yuki. Why
great.
Can't they push this little fella a little bit more?
Yeah, I think
get him on TV more. Have him swearing into the camera like he does when he's driving.
Dude, he did.
And people are gonna love him.
His blow up today was so funny. It was they told him to change his engine braking mode, and he's like, my braking or technique. Or
what are you trying to crash me?
Yeah, and then he crashes. Or he doesn't crash, but he goes in the runoff. I was like, dude, he's gonna explode.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
I think for him, just not being, I think he's really popular, but I think it's more his performance is he's not. He's in an AlphaTauri this year. They're struggling. He's not fighting. Today was a great example of what he's capable of. He pushes the car so far on the edge I think more so than a lot of drivers where when it all connects and he puts everything together, he is pure magic. And then there's so many times when it just doesn't connect perfectly and I think he's just disjointed. But all that to say, he's outperforming De Vries, he's outperforming his teammate. It's been I think a good adjustment for him to get Gasly out of there and have a new teammate and kind of take the reins of the team. But yeah, man, he was fun. He's the best. He's such a fun character. The other one that I got sad about, I don't even want to talk about it because our shout out to our Mexican listeners. We're not even going to give him a shout out because I feel so sad. Perez, man, the worst weekend he's had in a long time.
Oh man,
just bad mistakes, really bad mistakes.
Yeah.
Starting in quali, obviously hitting the wall, coming out of the pit lane, just bad. Like you can't make those mistakes. Like I was talking to my buddy Miguel, who's a huge Checo fan. He's like, if he wants to compete in the championship with Max,
you can't do that.
Can't do that. You can't.
Nope.
he just raced. He just had a bad weekend. It just was awful. And then during the race, he made some mistakes. He was off. And so maybe he was still hungover from how much he partied last year in Monaco. Maybe that's what
he's still second.
Yeah. Still hanging in there for sure. Yeah.
He's what is he? 12 points out?
Yeah.
12 points from Fernando. Fernando, man.
My guy.
You think he could take second?
I think so. I think if he just if he just keeps consistently chipping away, that's the thing. Like, I think that's the difference between like Checo is he's on the top of his game. He's fighting. He's doing great. He has the car, but Fernando has shown, like, I think this week really showed that Sergio has the ability to be inconsistent, and really those ups and downs and those peaks and valleys are going to be probably a little bit more severe. Alonso from the start of this year has been
dominating.
2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Just nonstop top fives. So I think if he just keeps doing that, he'll end up accumulating more points over the course of all the rounds. But
everyone was saying this was his only chance to win a race this year.
Oh, interesting. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just too much. Oh, you do? You do?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me.
Max is too fast. His car's too fast.
Yeah.
Unless Max crashes.
Yeah.
And Sergio does too.
Yeah.
I just don't think his car can handle.
I agree with that. I mean, I was factoring in crashes and reliability, and thinking potentially that something will happen eventually that will take Max out.
I saw a video where Red Bull could potentially break a record that's never been broken, where Max could win the Drivers' Championship by as early as, I think, the Hungaroring.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe his home race is when it is, and then he can leave, and Ricciardo can come in, and Ricciardo, if he's good, in theory, that's a thing that Red Bull could do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. They won't do that.
They're not gonna.
No, but could you imagine? How fun is
that? They
want
to see how many points they could get Max.
Yeah,
is what they want.
And Max.
He's the kind of guy that wants those points.
Yeah, someone who's wearing the number 1 gold boots. They care about the records.
That's true.
They.
Now, granted, though, Max has to pay money for every point he accumulates this year.
Wait, why?
That's how it works. When you win, that's how you keep your license. You got to pay per point that you made.
It's insane. Do you think the team?
So Max had to pay like 20, or like maybe not 20 million, but he had to pay so much money last year. Let me see what
That's
he had to
pay.
pay.
That's so funny. Does the team pay for that, or is he like Venmoing them? Just like PayPal. I like the idea of that. He's just PayPaling.
Max had to pay. Let's see, highest paid for.
Yeah, it's just like. I don't think that. I get excited about the idea that Ricciardo can get in the car and then they just finish out the season, but there's just no way. They'll never do that. I can't imagine they'll do that.
I don't think that Daniel Ricciardo will be good enough to place at all. I don't think he's going to be that good. All right, the super license fee is $10,400. What? Or is our internet all fucked up?
No, I think we're back. Yeah, we're back.
God damn it. I'm going to have to edit this fucking thing. Fuck me.
So bad.
Anyway, here it is. You have to pay 10,400 euros for your super license fee for 2023, with an extra 2,100 euros per point achieved in the previous season. So Max Verstappen in 2022 had 454 points, which means his total fee was 963,800 euros, or $1,036,158.
That's so weird to.
Everyone does all the way down.
You gotta pay to be good. That's crazy. I think.
Yep.
I think if you should, your teammate should have to pay. That's what it should be. I think that would really spice it up a little bit. Or you get to choose what team has to pay your points. And so it has to be a team outside of the top 10 that you just get to put your bill on, because that would just make it so toxic. You could just tank teams, be like, yeah, man, sorry, McLaren, you're picking up the bill again for Max. They're like, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah,
dude. It's your entry fee that each driver has to pay, and I think that's what goes to like the Constructors Cup and all that shit. Like it's
yeah, it's all back into the pool, and
because they don't make enough money off of the $130 F1 T-shirts and
or those
the $360 pullover hoodies.
Yeah, or like the $200 nachos in Miami.
yes, yeah, exactly. You're nailing it.
Yeah, damn.
Isn't that wild?
That's insane. Okay, well, all right then.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it would make, although Max is making $40 million this year, so
he can cover it.
I'm sure you're like, yeah, this seems fun.
Yeah. Also, I wonder if he's actually paying for it. I wonder if it's Red Bull, like in your contract.
I think
if you just
he
be like,
does.
dude,
Oh, it might be in your contract.
If you just be like, hey, pay for this. Like, because I know little silly things that they at
he's
that
like,
point.
I'll pay for it, but you reimburse
Yeah. Let me sign my receipts. Let me get the reimbursement on that. Well, I know that I know that Lewis had a clause in his contract that was Mercedes had to pay for any fine that he got for not showing up to certain media engagements, because it literally was like, it wasn't because he wanted to blow them off. I think it was because he was so busy. So he has all these other things to do with like his fashion, his music, and like traveling, that he's like, I'm going to miss stuff. I'm going to get fined for missing stuff. You guys have to pay for that. I don't think it was I don't want to go. Like, he clearly goes to all this stuff, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he just was like, guys, pay for this shit. And they're like, okay, yeah. How many?
I just watched the movie Air.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
It's great. There's a scene in there. So back then, the NBA required 51%. The NBA required 51% of the shoes being white.
Oh, interesting.
Like you couldn't have more color than 50. It had to be 51% white.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to do mostly red for the Jordan 1s.
Yep.
And then we're going to pay your fine every game.
Every game. Yeah, for them not being. That's great. I mean, it's good marketing.
What a move.
You go, yep, that's why they're who they are.
That rules.
Yeah.
That fucking rules.
I love it.
Also, I do want to say this, getting back to the Monaco race. Fernando had so much time that he double pit and still didn't lose position.
Yeah.
That's how much space he built up between him and Ocon.
Dude, there was
he could pit twice.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
There was also a few moments where the gaps were like, between each car it was like 40 seconds at certain times, because of the way that when the rain started and everyone was spread out, it got messy. And then I think like before Stroll went out, he was like 2 laps down because of what was like just getting lapped twice, and like Sergio getting lapped twice by his teammate. Dude, disheartening stuff out there for some of the drivers. Like, so bad.
It's like, save the motor, save the engine components, save the gearbox.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Save the data.
Yeah. It was weird that they picked. Now, I didn't get this because I didn't watch the post show. I didn't have time to watch the post show where I think they were going to break down what happened with Fernando. Did you catch who called for intermediates? Or I'm sorry, for mediums before intermediates?
No, I think I didn't catch exactly what happened. I know that from what I heard, I will need to look at this again, but it was just a lap late that they should have gone, and if they went earlier, he possibly could have caught Max or won for position. It just, the call didn't come in fast enough, and they didn't react fast enough to the rain. Is what I think.
Do you think he really could have been on Max's tail?
I think so. I think only because of positioning. I from what I've heard and read, this might be totally wrong. We will need to double check this, but yeah, I think it was one of those like, damn, it could have been, and it's like hindsight. The rain comes in, you don't really know. It's part of the track. It's not the full track.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, like, and it's you can always tell, like, it's way more risky if you have track position to then pit and go to inter. So the top 6 people went way after, or a lap after, or even 2 laps after like McLaren, they were boom onto it, and then they gain track position. Or it's people who have less to lose; they can just make that call and go, and it was the right call. That This goes back to like Sochi, where Lando was making the call in the car and he was leading, and you don't know what to do. You're like, I don't know if this is my tires are gonna fall off because the track's too dry, or if I'm gonna slide on ice because I stuck it out for one more lap, which totally happened.
And then wrecked in the wall and ruined my whole race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, well, then you saw some of the people just pinballing down some of the hills, like just so bad, just ting,
so
ting,
slow.
ting. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's just the worst feeling. So
yeah, it was really cool seeing how traffic affects this track.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Big
so much traffic in there that when you get to the back of it, and I learned to appreciate this from watching these IMSA races too.
Yeah.
But like you get to the back and you're like, well, I got to get through, but you can't get through until you get to like a straightaway where they can pull over and let you pass. And then you could just watch Fernando coming up to him. I think that might have been the only way that he probably could have caught Max, was because they were getting caught up in traffic, and Max would have been held back from that. I would have, I think
the bad like blue flags. And do you know in IMSA, can you fight people behind you, or do you have to let them pass? Is it racing the whole time? Because I know in IndyCar they don't have blue flags. Like if you're a back marker and you're getting lapped, you can still race that person.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would for like the GTDs, like the Porsches going out with the prototypes.
Yeah.
I don't think they would, because they're just so much faster.
It's just
than the
not their
Porsches
race.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't believe so.
Got it. Cool.
I think that's how you get. Yeah. I think that's how you get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Redneck style.
Yeah. It's bad racing.
Well, anyway, it was a fun race.
Yeah.
For sure. Relatively straightforward, relatively clean. No safety cars. No red flags. I mean, shit. I think the quali was more.
Yeah.
Had more crashes in it than the actual race did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Some news though.
Big news.
That's been popping up.
Breaking news.
It's been wild these past 2 weeks. First of all, the biggest news: Aston is going to be a Honda customer.
Dude, 2026. Huge.
That's huge. Huge move from Lawrence Stroll, by the way.
I mean,
this dude, smart play. The smart thing about this is I agree with the thought that you can never win with a customer's motor, or like another competitor's motor. They're never going to give you everything you need to make this work.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah.
And then the fact that Honda doesn't have any skin in the game, Honda's now out because Red Bull's go to Ford.
Yep.
So Honda's kind of fair game now. So they might just be a customer motor, or just like a motor with no skin in the game. So everyone gets these great motors, which I don't know if I love too much, because I don't want a lot of people like I don't know if the Honda partnership is exclusive.
Yeah. Or if
it's going to be like
open to everyone.
AlphaTauri can have it,
Yeah.
McLaren can come get one.
I wonder.
Because then it might be like, then it's kind of falling into like that spec type motor now.
Yeah. But what if Honda does that, opens it up to everyone being a customer, and then Aston Martin just steals Red Bull's aerodynamics, and then now they have a Honda-powered Red Bull car as an Aston? That's a pretty good mix. It's a pretty good mix.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not bad.
I saw a picture of Lawrence Stroll with the the gauntlet of Thanos, and he was just like putting little pieces, all the gems, all the Infinity Stones, and it was the last one was like Honda Motors 2026, and it was like Red Bull aerodynamics, like Ferrari engineers or Red Bull engineers, and it's like, yeah, man, he's just
he's doing it,
dragging and dropping, and it's working.
He promised his fans a win, world championship, and I think if Fernando can stick it out, which he might. I mean, Fernando might go till he's 45, 50.
He could. It's got to be
win.
So revitalizing for him to do this.
For real.
You know, he's out here just sniffing plants and being a full gardener most of the time. He's got a whole new life. It's a whole new life. It's great. I saw him like doing that again this week. Just sniffing plants and watering. Now he's like leaning into it. That's my favorite part about Fernando is he hears these like little rumblings and viral moments, and he's just like, I'm that person now, and then just does that. And he'll just like, it'll be like a Charles interview, and he'll just be in the back, and he knows what he's doing. He'll just like sniff a plant and kind of just keep walking. Like, it's fine. Like, he's so awesome. It's great.
He rules. Yeah, I love him.
It's the best.
He started doing that again in Monaco. Did he really?
Oh yeah. He was like watering plants. Like they had him. He was going around like then now fully leaning into it, but going like from the tables to like the little place settings. It was so funny. So,
he's having a blast,
yeah,
dude. I love it. I hope he sticks around for a while. I'd love to see him get another world title.
That'd be awesome. Yeah,
I really would love that.
Yeah, especially because he was in cars that just didn't match his talent for years. I think he. Compared to the Lewises, compared to the Sebs, he's up there talent-wise. So, and as we know, like look at Charles. He's one of those generational talents where it just hasn't all gelled and come together for him. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. But Fernando's a great example of, for years, the car just didn't match his talent. And then he obviously went off and did other things and raced in different series. But to have him back now and fighting at the front, so fun. And to have him at like cool. This old, mature, just very self-aware of who he is.
Knows
and
what he's
what
doing.
He is.
Yeah, dude. He's just walking that line perfectly. I love it so much.
It's so good.
I really love it so much.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good move for them. I'm curious how they're going to go with this. It's crazy to me that Red Bull is leaving Honda.
Yeah.
From how successful they've been.
Yeah. Well,
these past few years.
And then I also heard because of Honda's ties with Yuki, obviously being Japanese, that there was rumblings of him going over to Aston, which
can't happen.
We'll see what happens there, but
there's no way that Lawrence is going to cut his son. He bought the team for his son.
Yeah, or like what if?
Also,
Fernando's
I don't think
not
Yuki's a better driver than Lawrence or than Lance.
Lance.
I think Lance is a better driver.
I would agree. Not today, but I would agree.
Yuki.
Yes,
true,
for sure. Like consistently. He's
not wrecking cars as much as Yuki is.
He's way more consistent, and he's more reliable, I would say, than Yuki at this point. Maybe that changes, but Yuki does have that explosiveness, that X factor potential, but who knows? But yeah, of course.
I just don't see Fernando leaving until he gets another title.
Yeah, until he's like
he seems like he's having too much fun right now. Yeah, he seems like he's having way too much fun. If the car is trash in 2026, he might be out in 27. But I think we're gonna have him for a couple more
until
years.
that car really is bad. Until they take a big misstep.
It's
somehow.
gonna be great.
But,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
also, Lawrence Stroll, this motherfucker, dude, I like what he's doing. He is so he owns a huge chunk of Aston Martin. I think the company as well, and his influence in Formula One specifically has sold, I think, like $500 million in cars just for Aston, in the form of like F1 Edition Vanquish the safety car version of the just from the F1 stuff.
That's crazy.
He's making moves, I love it.
He knows business. Yeah, that's the one thing, he doesn't know where the belt line goes on his cargo pants. That's a little too high, but the dude does know business for sure.
When you have a ton of money, it doesn't really matter.
It really does.
You create your own belt line.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Speaking of driver changes, Lewis,
yes,
Ferrari, Jeff, is it going to happen or not?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I don't see it happening. This week, funny. Lewis hit it on the head. They asked him about it. They're like, hey, a lot of rumblings and rumors that you might be going to Ferrari. And he just goes, we didn't have a race in Imola. You guys clearly are bored. That's what's going on. And I love that take because I think truly that's exactly what happened. People were just like, what if? Like, that would be so cool. He's won so much. I think he's just so ingrained in the Mercedes ecosystem and world. I think he lives and dies with Mercedes at this point. I don't see him going to Ferrari. And then another one was, Charles in Thursday's press conference, Lewis was sitting 2 over from him. Some reporter asked, hey, I've heard rumblings that you might be having a new teammate here in the future. What do you look for, in a teammate? And then Charles just laughs, looks directly over at Lewis and goes, "Hello, Lewis." And everyone laughs. So I think having it that out in the open and them, the drivers being so flippant and joking with like the rumors, to me, that means it's not true. Normally, if it's true, I think they would be more, keep it under wraps. This is actually happening. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to flare this up anymore. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be fun though. It's fun to think about. I like.
Well, it makes sense that people would talk about it because I would understand Lewis wanting to race for Ferrari at some point in his career.
Yeah.
It's hard not to want to race for them.
Yep.
But he would never leave the organization of Mercedes for the chaos of Ferrari.
Right. And right now,
and their car is not better.
Looking great. Like, not looking amazing, but they're looking better and more cohesive than Ferrari. Like, the car maybe, whatever. Some races they look better, some races they don't.
Thanks to Big Fred.
Yeah, man. Old Freddie V. So
Big Freddie Vass.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't take it at this point.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Well, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, but I think that they need to offer him a car.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's gonna be able to offer him a car like Mercedes can.
No.
Speaking of Mercedes and Red, dude, we got to see their floors today. We got to see their floors.
The shout out to the crane operators who Toto Wolff said must be working for Cirque du Soleil for how they're hiking them up into the air and swinging them around for everyone to see. He said that jokingly, but yeah, man, hilarious that Merc shows up with a brand new floor, brand new side pods, which I think it was more about the floor, but the side pods got a lot of the news. And then also Red Bull's floor, because of Perez, both of them go into the wall. Both of them
immediately revealed.
Yeah, just every photographer is just in 6K shooting up at the floor. Be like, oh, that's what we're doing next week. And then Lawrence Stroll's out there with an army of photographers, making sure he gets every little rivet on both of those.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Dude, the Red Bull floor looked really interesting compared to the Mercedes floor. All those channels in the front.
Yep.
Really, it was very unique looking. I mean, it almost looked like one of those cat toys where they can play it through the I mean, but there was like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Kind of jutting out from the front to the sides, and it didn't look like Mercedes had that at all.
No, it's so amazing how different they are. Like how
that's the only part that they can hide.
Yeah, exactly. And then they hike it up in the air, and you're just like, oh no, like
we just fucking put this out there.
You're like, God. I mean, it kills. It's such a disadvantage for them to do that. It sucks so bad.
Yeah. Don't crash.
Really? Yeah. That's it. And don't crash in Monaco, where they can't. They literally just they use a crane to pull up.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
We know where you're gonna crash so well. We just have a crane chilling here.
We're ready. That's insane.
We're ready.
It's insane.
Yeah.
They got cranes.
Huge crane.
Yeah. To pull a full car. Yeah. Into the air. Speaking of
such a bummer,
pulling people into the air and launching them into the water, do you think Logan Sargent or Nick DeVries will be replaced? There's been rumors that they are not performing at the highest ability and they might be replaced. What are your thoughts on those guys?
I think it would be somewhat bold to replace them mid-season.
Yeah.
It's their first season.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, of course they're going to be nervous, and they're going to be nervous because one, there's so much more stuff happening around Formula 1. No one gives a fuck about F2.
Yes.
No one gives a fuck about Formula E. I mean, truly.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool to watch as the auxiliary race.
Yeah.
But we're here for Formula 1.
Yeah.
And so they have all of this pomp and circumstance and photos and media and all this shit they have to do now that's new to them, that distracts them from driving. And then they have to drive a different car that they have to get used to. That's like, that's nothing like their other one.
Yep.
The track might be the same, fine. But it is not, to me, I think it would be mean.
Yeah.
I think it'd be mean if they did it mid-season. Give them a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
I
mean, it's funny. Calling it mean is hilarious because it is performance. They don't care about feelings.
It's true.
Especially on the Nick DeVries side, because that's involving Red Bull and Helmut Marko. But I think,
Far from
I
it.
truly think that if anyone was, Nick is closer than Logan. Logan is definitely under the air of, I'm working on it. And unless Toto starts pulling the strings and Mick kind of hops in there for Logan, but who's to say? Just fun. Again, silly rumblings. At this point, we have more to talk about, but it's exciting to think about the drama of, potential mid-season chops. But at this point, I don't think so. I think they'll give him a little bit more breathing room.
I think they should. And, I mean, I know that Nick's not doing as well, but why do you think he'd get cut faster? Because he's French?
No, he's Dutch, actually.
He's Dutch? Is that what it is?
Nick DeVries is Dutch.
Is he?
Yeah. So it's actually two Dutchmen, him and Max. But I only think because Red Bull is fast.
Oh, it's the exact same flag. One's vertical, one's horizontal.
Hilarious.
Fuck them.
Hilarious.
I'm so American.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Of course he's Dutch. He's got the same mouth as Max.
Yeah.
When you see them side by side, they have a Dutch mouth.
Very Dutch. Yeah, they.
Sorry to all our Dutch listeners.
Yeah, we love you. I think it's. I think only because Helmet and Red Bull have shown in previous years that they have the ability to make that decision. The other side of the coin, the Mercedes side of things, Williams side of things, Toto pulling the strings, I don't think he'll pull mid-season. It doesn't seem like he has that. He doesn't want to do that. That's too shakes things up too much. I think Helmut Marko, pulled Pierre from the top Red Bull team because he wasn't performing. I don't know if he'll have an issue with doing that with AlphaTauri. So we'll see, but I doubt it. So let's get to our Mazzy, which we did talk about. We should.
We did.
It makes
I kind of blew it.
It's very no. We brushed over it, but I love it.
It could be. It could be the guy that put the F40 on the boat.
Dude,
too.
That was hilarious.
I don't know what that was all about,
Yes.
but what a publicity stunt
Yeah.
to just. I'm gonna crane in the same crane that showed us the floor of the Red Bull and Mercedes.
Yeah.
Was craning in a Ferrari F40 just to
Onto the boat.
put his decoration on a boat.
So funny.
In case it sank and they needed it to drive out. I don't know.
I guess, man.
It was
Yeah.
weird how people spend their money.
That cracks me up.
But he's not the winner of our Mazzy. The winner of our Mazzy, I believe for the first time.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the inaugural win for Carlos Sainz.
We love him.
For his hilariously timed.
Perfect.
I'm going to push him through his tires, and then he runs directly into his tires.
Comedic timing. Spot on. Carlos is a funny dude. He is the funniest dude, and he was inadvertently hilarious today. So Mazzy goes to him for
really does.
saying he's going to
really
push
does.
and then just annihilating the back of Esteban's car.
Oh, God.
It's good.
It was so fun.
Good.
It was so fun. We forgot to talk about the Indy 500. We'll just real quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Indy 500, very fun this week as well, or it was today as well.
Yep.
It was, as you would think, it was very fun, and then like the last 20 laps got real crazy.
Mayhem. Yeah.
Because think how tired you would be after it's 200 laps.
Dude, it's
500 miles. Today they
crazy.
drove 160 miles.
Yeah.
In Monaco, 78 laps. They drove 500 laps.
Yeah.
Miles, 200 laps. That's insane.
It's insane.
But congratulations to Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah, he did great. And then shout out to no one dying when that tire went into the grandstands.
Shit.
That was a crazy moment. It
insane.
Clipped off and then bounced over. It was a missile.
It launched out of the fucking track into the people.
Yeah, and then landed on like a white Honda Civic in the parking lot, or they had to tow it away, hit the front end of it, and just annihilated the front of some car, sedan. Yeah,
just blew all the windows out.
It's just the whole front wheel well just got caved in because it landed right on it. Yeah.
That thing was moving, dude. That thing was fucking moving.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was good. It was what a fun day of racing.
That was great.
Monaco was so fun. It was so cool getting up. I mean,
best.
I was so amped for this race.
Yeah.
Quali was great, and I let myself have low expectations because after Miami's quali, I got a little let down,
Yep.
and I was not let down today. I
Nope.
was very happy.
Amazing.
So,
One of the
yeah,
best quality sessions of the last, for a long time. It was incredible. So much fun. Max pulling out in the last sector. Oh, it was awesome. It was cool. It was great.
If you know anything about Max, he doesn't like pulling out.
Shout out to Kelly Piquet.
Shout out to Kelly Piquet. So that's it for today. Next week we have the Spanish Grand Prix, Fernando's home race.
Oh yeah, Carlos as well.
Yeah, but Fernando.
You're like, but also Fernando.
But also Fernando. Let's be real.
Yep.
Fernando's home race and Carlos. How do you think they're going to do next week?
I think
it's going to be Fernando on the pole.
I hope so. I think it'll be.
He's going to be sitting pole all day long.
All day.
In his home race.
I'm excited just because Monaco is Monaco, but Monaco is also not a great example of what the car's updates are going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Merck's updates.
Yeah,
we didn't even have time to talk about those either.
This will be a really nice sample of what, because again, Barcelona, hard to pass. They test here. All the drivers know this track to the millimeter. So I think it'll really showcase whose car is doing better and has the upgrades that they need moving forward. It's just a really good litmus test of where everyone's sitting. Overtakes are always low because of that the way the corners are, and it'll be fine. It'll be a fun race. I don't think it'll be super exciting. Barcelona tends to be boring, but I'm excited. Like for me, I'm just looking forward to seeing what the cars look like with all these new updates. And so it'll be good.
I can't wait to see everyone's new floor next week.
I know. They have a week to change
Shocker!
it.
Everyone came out with new floors in the last week. How'd that happen?
Yeah. So
interesting. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. We appreciate it. Jeff, thanks for tuning in.
You're the best. Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know
tuning
how that
in.
works. I don't know why I said tuning in. It's been a long day. What a race, though.
It's great.
Follow us on our Instagrams. You can follow Jeff at Jeffrey Tice. Follow me at I Am Brankhill. Our Instagram at Grid Penalty F1. Our YouTube, Grid Penalty F1. Kat Orlean, our producer. Jan Moffitt, our video editor, at Points Williams. I think that's all we got.
That's it. Thanks, everybody.
That's all we got.
We appreciate you.
Happy Monaco weekend. We'll see you next week for Spain. Wear your seatbelts. Be safe. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.